Ang next topic po natin is basically on stakeholder analysis, engagement, and satisfaction. Yung stakeholder engagement po, through the years, nag-evolve na siya sa maraming pangalan. I'm sure everybody will familiar about citizen participation, inclusiveness, di po ba? Nagbago-bago lang siya, napalitan. Siguro sinasabi nga nila, ano ba yung mas sexy gamitin sa panahon ngayon, di po ba? So kung may mga konsepto ng sustainable development, sama-sama na yung lahat. So ibig sabihin, sinabi nga ni Dr. kanina bago mag-lunch, kailangang malaman natin kung ano yung menu at sino magluluto. Pero kung titignan natin yung buong cycle ng project development, project planning, project analysis, etc., kailangan mabuo natin yung buong value chain, kumbaga, kung tinitignan natin sa negosyo. Kailangan mong alam kung sino yung nagluluto, kailangan mong alam kung sino yung server mo, yung waiter mo, kailangan mong alam kung sino yung kakain nun. At the same time, sino yung store manager, yung nagpapatakbo nun, yung nagpepedal, kumbaga. So, ayan. So yun po yung mga tinitignan natin for sa stakeholder analysis and engagement. Sino-sino ba yung mga aktor na nararapat na kasama natin dito? So bukas, sa project design natin na gagawin, this should be considered po. Kasi ang tendency natin as the time goes by, meron tayong kanya-kanyang advokasya, merong perspektibo ng galing sa NMT, meron sa siklista, meron sa motorized transport. Lahat po yun ay mahalaga. Pero ang tanong natin, ang tendency kasi, napupunta tayo in silos, nagkakanya-kanya. Pero ang ano nga natin ngayon, para maging kakaiba, para magkaroon tayo ng panibagong pamamaraan na gawin yung mga bagay na gusto nating gawin, sino ba yung dapat nating i-involve? So yun po yung papasadahan natin ngayong hapon. Just going back to the course objective, basically, gusto nating maintindihan ano ba yung fundamentals and principles ng citizen participation and engagement. Ang focus natin dito ay ano ba yung mga batas na nagsasabi, bakit ako si Juan, ako si Pedro, kailangan ko makisali, kailangan kong makialam. And then yung second, ano ba yung mga various perspectives and methodologies to make transport and mobility planning and management more inclusive. Meron na bang pamamaraan? Meron na bang mga methodology na available sa atin ngayon para magkaroon tayo ng ibang klaseng pamamaraan ng pakikilahok sa pagdidesisyon sa transport and mobility? Okay. Basically po ito yung course content natin, citizen participation, ano yung mga batas, ano ba yung rationale ng pagpa-participate natin, bakit natin ito kailangan. Innovating with the BOP, so i-discuss din po natin yung mga paradigm shifts ngayon. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang sa civil society, kung hindi pati business sector and government, may mga pagbabago na ng pagkaisipan. Ano na ba yung mga trends sa stakeholder engagement? Face-to-face lang ba? Or ano ba yung ibang ways natin? And then, engaging people and institutions. So, titignan natin yung pamamaraan stakeholder analysis, methods, examples, and then yung desired outcomes. Yung case studies po, hindi na muna natin gagawin kasi mas marami pa tayong mas magandang balitaktakan mamaya, right after. So, citizen participation po, basically yung definition natin na to ay ito yung isang proseso na kung saan ang isang individual ay magkakaroon ng oportunidad para maimpluwensyahan ang isang public decision. So, ibig sabihin yung government decision or yung decision ng any sector that can have great impact to the public. And then, sinasabi natin na citizen participation yan, kung may pakikilahok or involvement ng stakeholders, especially ng local community, basically is to enhance its aim is to enhance awareness, raise the quality of the plan, and increase the likelihood of plan's acceptability and success. Yung doon po sa title natin, yung satisfaction, it comes with ownership, di po ba? So ibig sabihin, pag tinatanggap natin yung ideya, so basically yung satisfaction comes along with the image or the brand of the project that we're implementing. Pero ang pinaka-importante sa atin ngayon, kahit alam natin yung ideolohiya ng citizen participation, I think the bigger question is, papaano natin ito gagawin? Okay? Sinasabi natin, ang 1987 Constitution na mismo nagsasabi na karapatan mo yan. Karapatan mong makilahok sa lahat ng antas ng pagpaplano at pagdedesisyon sa gobyerno. So, Article 12, Section 15, sinasabi rin niya ng Section 16. Diba? And we also have the right, yung mga organizations natin, to participate in social, political, and economic decision making. And then sinasabi rin sa revised as a Republic Act 7160 or the Local Government Code of 1991, Section 107 na, yung participation at the local level, kalimitang nangyayari sa local development councils. So, pwede ko bang itanong sa mga LGU nandito, gaano ka-effective ang inyong local development council? At gaano yung antas ng participation ng stakeholders sa inyo? Marikina, sir. Very supportive sila. Very supportive. Sa Makati po? Very active, okay. Sige po. Ang ano lang natin sa sa local development councils, medyo ang 20% lang kasi yung natin doon, di ba? Yung cap ng other sectors and then the rest is government na. So, medyo minsan sinasabi nga nila, maybe there's a way na baka pwede tayong lumabas sa local development council para, at kasi every 6 months, once every 6 months lang by the local government code yung meetings ng LDC natin eh. And then karamihan ng involved dito, very powerful, is yung appropriations ng projects. And then the other LGUs, yung dilemma nila, the local development councils are not working at all. So ibig sabihin, we need new platform, we need innovative ways of engaging people. And then syempre yung sa UDHA, meron din siyang provisions on citizen participation by respecting the rights of property owners. And then syempre yung sa settlement, sa mga dwellers natin, that we should have adequate consultation. Okay. Ito pong magandang example, basically ito yung nag-stand out, no, yung time ni Secretary Robredo nung time na mayor siya. Kasi ang sinasabi niya, may malaking pagkakaiba ng citizen participation kasi kadalasang nangyayari yung kaugalian natin is basically on consultation basis lamang, yung citizen participation natin. And yung iba naman more on acquiring free, prior, and informed consent or your FPIC. But ang sinasabi niya, pwede bang mag-transcend from the citizen participation into empowerment? And paano yon? So, panoorin natin itong short video na from the creation of Naga City People's Council.
In Naga City, we are facilitating people representation.
We come together and we talked about our issues that we would like to present to the city government.
Malaking bagay po yung NCPC sa pagdesisyon ng gobyerno.
Sa NCPC, talaga nagdadamayan ho kami at alam namin na yung problema mayroong solusyon.
Basically, we wanted to get everybody involved in all the aspects of governance in the city. We started with getting an NGOPO council, and it was more consultative than anything else. They were not empowered, so to speak. And we realized that there is this resource which can be tapped, which will benefit the city if they can express their opinions even if it's different from what the city government opinion is. So we passed the People Empowerment Ordinance, which among others creates a Naga City People's Council, which also mandates membership in all the special bodies of the city, even outside those as provided for in the local government code.
The Naga City People's Council started in 1996 when all accredited non-government organizations and people's organizations gathered to discuss how we can effectively work together to lobby and to actualize people participation in local governance, just so as to ensure that the voices of the people are integrated, are incorporated in all decisions made by the city government.
There are various interests to be balanced. There are big business, there are small business, there are cooperatives, there are market vendors, and we come together and we talk about our issues that we would like to present to the city government for their consideration.
NCPC sends its sectoral representatives to various city council committees and task forces to participate in policy and decision-making.
15 sektor yan.
And it is very difficult to put the agenda of each sector as all priorities. NCPC has installed a win-win situation always, consensus building processes, a lot of consultation, a lot of dialogue, until talagang nakikita na consensus yung naaabot.
Sa NCPC, talaga nagdadamayan ho kami. Kung ano yung problema ng isa, sinasabi namin sa kanila at alam namin na yung problema mayroong solusyon.
NCPC articulates people's sentiments and problems. It then proposes solutions to the city government.
Naalala ko, nung unang panahon, ina-attract namin yung investors sa Naga. At isa sa mga nagsumagot na mga business ay yung mga golf enthusiasts. Gusto nila na karoon ng golf course ang Naga. Nung ito ay napakinggan ng mga tao, yung NCPC dali-dali na mag-organize ng mga pag-uusap, discussion groups, dialogue, kung makakabuti ba yung golf course na mag-invest sa Naga. Sa haba ng mga discussion, napag-desisyonan po ng tao, hindi po pwede. Hindi maganda yung may golf course. Bakit? Kasi po problema nga yung tubig. At nalaman sa pag-uusap na yung golf course ay mangangailangan ng napakaraming tubig to maintain it. At sabi ng tao, between water and a golf course, the people said, we do not need a golf course now. We feel that resources should be put into the water supply and the water system. So yun po, namatay po yung issue yun, no? Isa po yun sa incident na sa tingin ko, naka-influence ng policy ang NCPC.
NCPC's pioneering contribution to participatory governance has made an indelible mark. However, to sustain its role in society, it has to hurdle future challenges.
Well, the first challenge actually for the NCPC, in order for it to sustain its active participation, is to strengthen its membership, particularly the base of each sector.
Activate the passive members in the NCPC. Yung parang nominal lang. Because they are as important as the rest of the community.
There has to be continuing education so that they would know what to bring to the city and they would know how to actively participate in the city. Empowerment is very important, and we cannot empower the city, or we cannot empower the program of the city unless we ourselves are empowered. Another challenge is really for the NCPC to get its funds. I think if we will always be dependent on the city for our funds, we would not be totally independent.
If we can become more independent and self-reliant in our finances, then we can take more steps towards becoming really a critical partner. Not just collaborative, but critical partnerships can really be engaged in.
I think the NCPC has to take on a greater role other than just sending its representative. I think it should be able to galvanize public opinion on certain decisions of the city government. I think it should be able to facilitate the formation of this public opinion.
After the golf course issue, yung landfill naman. So sa kaisipan ng mayor namin, at magaling na kaisipan yon, na mag-utang sa World Bank o kumuha ng funding para meron kaming landfill area for our waste. Ito po, matagal na usapan ito. Kasi po, yung mga barangay, ayaw nila yung basurahan sa kanila, di ba? So one of the most difficult times of NCPC was this, na paano buuin yung ano. And we did our best. Community meetings, yung mga preparatory feasibility study, and everything was ready. And we felt we had built the consensus. And during the public hearing, we all had our fingers crossed na okay na itong project na to, and here comes the teacher who had done his homework. kinausap niya yung community, yung mga bata, yung mga matatanda in the area, and he came with a manifesto and signatures of the community. They were saying no to the landfill. We almost fell from our seats, you know. I said, but at the same time, ako po ay nag-reflect ako, look, this is a voice we haven't heard. And in a way, I was happy but sad, no? Sad for us kasi we didn't do as much as we could have, no? Na pakinggan talaga lahat. But happy because we had empowered someone in the community who will take a stand.
People participation in governance, the way we are doing it here in Naga City, I believe strengthens all the more the resolve both by the government and the people to make governance an affair of both the people and the government itself.
We can use the People Empowerment Program not merely as a tool for people to participate, but as a tool for improving outcomes. We have moved from simply informing them to getting them involved, from simply making them part of the process to making them part of the outcomes as well.
Malaki na po yung nagawa ng NCPC. Yung awareness lang na you're part of government. You're not just citizens, you are part of governance.
So we did the Naga City Charter. The Naga City Charter is a listing of 140 services that we do, together with all the procedures, processes, in order for one to avail these services. And the people who are accountable. This is a commitment. It's a contract between the city and the residents that this is the kind of services that we do for you. Governance is not just simply putting food on the table, providing services for everybody, but making them understand how food was put on the table and how decisions were made. In as much as in the end, we always say that politicians come and go. Only the constituency is permanent. And the more intelligent and the more involved the constituency is, the better will be governance for the city and the better will the city be.
Sa kanila is na-institutionalize nila yung participation ng non-government actors natin. But sinasabi nga nila kanina, may low end din yun. Hindi naman sila naging successful agad sa pag-i-implement. But basically, tatlong mahalagang bagay po kung ma-take note natin. Una-una, there should be a confidence building process between the government and the non-government actors. Kumbaga dapat yung kung CSO ka, binibuild mo rin yung credibility mo to partner with the government. Yung nga sinasabi nila kaninang critical partnership. Partner tayo, pero syempre, pwede rin kaming mag-comment at pwede rin kaming mag-suggest on how to improve things, di ba? And then, the other one nga is yung collective impact na tinatawag. Yung NCPC, sinasabi nga na malimit sa amin ni Doc Doy, sino ba yung taga-maneho mo at taga-pedal mo? So, importante yung role ng NCPC sa taga-RO at taga-pedal. And then, saka sila nakikipagtrabaho sa local government unit. Okay? Next. Okay. Basically, rationale ng citizen participation natin. Sinasabi natin, pag may participation yung mga tao, sinasabi na, sa madalit sabi, we can produce better decisions. Kumbaga, mas malawak yung kaalaman natin. Sinasabi nga ni Ms. Daline kanina pa ulit-ulit, dapat involved kami doon. Kami kasi yung mas nakakaalam kung ano yung sitwasyon namin. Pangalawa, mas na-articulate ng citizen kung ano ba yung interest nila doon sa particular issue. At pangatlo, nalilegitimize ang implementation strategies. Like any project, di ba? Kung walang buy-in, kung sino man yung tina-target mo, it will not be sustainable. Mamamatay lang yan. And then the second one is produce better citizens. Dahil nakikilahok yung citizen, meron ng mas maantas na kamalayan sa kanila. Na unang-una, yung citizen mismo, nag-shoulder ng part ng responsibility doon sa desisyon. Kumbaga hindi niya masasabing, decision lang ng local government yan, decision lang ng private sector. Hindi. Kasama ka sa desisyon. Pangatlo, education and empowerment ng citizen. At the same time, yun nga, it commits and makes them responsible for the civic action. Okay. Ito naman po is basically showing ano ba yung nangyayari sa daigdig natin, di ba? Kung merong nangyayari sa Pilipinas na advocacies ng citizen participation, stakeholder engagement, etc. Ano ba itong innovating with the base of the pyramid? Basically, yung concept ng BOP is popularized by C.K. Prahalad. Sinasabi niya na sa buong mundo, yung base of the pyramid or yung bottom poor, na yung mga kumikita ng $4 and below a day, sila yung untapped market. So tinitignan niya from the perspective of a businessman, of an economic thinker. Na sinasabi niya, itong BOP natin, at the bottom of the base of the pyramid, yung earning $4 and below a day, sila yung more than 4 billion people na untapped market. So ibig sabihin, hindi lamang dapat dito yung perspective na tinitignan mo. So dapat nandito rin. So pero nung ginagawa namin yung Inclusive Mobility Project, yung Catalyzing New Mobility in Cities, sinasabi namin na hindi lang dapat poor. So dapat we should also include the vulnerable sector, yung women, elderly, and person with disability. And kung makikita ninyo, eto, dahil napakalaki yung impluensya ng private sector sa decisions natin. From the 1980s, ang tingin ng karamihan sa mga beneficiary ay customer. Di po ba? Sino yung gagamit? Pero kalaunan, yung sa kanilang product development, yung customer pala, pwede rin siyang tignan sa ibang anggulo. Naging consumer siya, naging user, naging adapter, naging participant sa project development. At ngayon, co-creator, ibig sabihin mas malaki na yung stake niya. So there's more shared value in every product or services being created, both by the government and the private sector. Yun nga lang, yung co-creation na process, which started in the early 2000, medyo kailangan pang palalimin sa lahat ng sistema ng mga different institutions natin. Okay, sinasabi natin yung ni Porter and Kramer doon sa creating shared value na this goes beyond the concept of economic value. Sinasabi niya rin na kapag nagko-create ka, ibig sabihin isinama mo yung ibang sektor in a particular project, in a particular process. Ini-expand mo rin yung social and economic values niya. At the same time, improving the social conditions of the communities. So, basically, showing lang yung base of the pyramid concept, marami na siyang version, but sinasabi nga nila na instead of selling the product to the poor or to the vulnerable sector, bakit hindi tayo mag-co-venture? So, ibig sabihin, kung titignan mo yung PPP, yung other side na to, hindi lamang malalaking players, baka pwedeng tignan na rin natin yung even the small players. Ano ba yung makikita natin? Okay, current trends in stakeholder engagements. Ito, napaka-interesting na picture. Ano po? Sinasabi nila, from building cars to providing mobility experience. Unang-una, sinasabi nga nila yung transport planners, hardcore engineers, urban planners, ilang tao lang sila sa table? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Di po ba? At basically, in silos nga sila ngayon, medyo nag-expand na sila, nagkaroon na sila ng pag-uusap ngayon. So, pagpalagay natin different agencies talking with different aspects at kung ano yung mas nagagawa nilang plano. Medyo mas creative na pagdating dito, di po ba? Medyo mas generalization na. Mas general and maraming na specific so yung kanilang nade-develop. And syempre, alam naman natin to. Sino po bang may social media dito? Gumagamit ng Facebook, Twitter? Sino po ba dito sa room na to? Pajak na social media? Okay. Okay, so I'm sure siguro 100% dito, meron kahit isa sa mga to or nakaka-access ng mga to, hindi po ba? So ibig sabihin, hindi lamang face-to-face na ngayon yung stakeholder engagement. So even online or yung social media natin, pwede na rin magamit as a platform. And meron na rin tayong crowdsourcing apps. Ito sir, this is an example doon sa Arlington. Kinumission nila. Kung sila ba ay maglalagay ng mga proposed bike facilities, paano ba nila ika-crowdsource sa napakalaking area? So kung titignan nyo ito, meron silang suggested by the community, yung green. Meron din silang county proposed, so yung mga dilaw, at meron ding existing locations. So ibig sabihin, mas nabe-better plan nila at mas sense nila, ano ba yung pulso ng mga tao? Di po ba? And then, syempre, a few years ago, we attempted to popularize yung cyclic fix, kaya nag-create kami ng account dun sa Philippines. And then, halimbawa, pwede kang mag-report ng mga problema. Problema sa kalsada, problema sa kahit anong klaseng problema, na sa tingin natin pwedeng ma-action na ng local government. Now, ang low end lang ng any crowdsourcing apps or social media, kailangan natin may back end tsaka front end na mekanismo . Meron nagre-receive ng information, at the same time may nag-forward ng information doon sa dapat niyang puntahan, at the same time may monitoring and evaluation. So medyo challenging siya yung pag-implement niya. And the next is engaging people in institutions. Sino ba yung dapat ma-involve doon sa proseso? Okay, syempre tinitignan natin yung medyo mas technical term gagamit ng stakeholder analysis. Unang-una, iniisip natin, tama ba na tayo lang na government, non-government, or sino pa ba yung dapat nating isama? Pwede ba nating isama yung media? Pwede ba nating isama yung mga artist? Pwede ba nating isama yung informal sector? Pwede ba nating isama yung mga siklista? So yon. Ano ba yung mga characteristics na pangalawa? May interest ba sila doon sa isyong pinag-uusapan? Pangatlo, importante, yung may mga conflict ba, dapat din nating ikonsidera doon sa issue. At pang-apat, syempre, ano ba yung, kapag may stakeholders ka, ano ba yung enabling mechanism or pwede bang mag-coalesce yung mga stakeholders, mag-join forces? And then yung panglima, ano ba yung kapasidad ng kada stakeholder or kada sektor na makibahagi doon sa issue na pinag-uusapan? And then, pwede natin yung i-transform into matrix based on importance and influence. Basically, meron ba siyang sa column na to, meron bang mataas na impluensya yung sektor na to or yung tao na to, or mababa yung impluensya niya? And then yung importansya niya doon sa sektor, mataas ba or mababa? And then you can combine both matrices, both characteristics, para mag-arrive at ma-analyze natin yung mga tao na kung sino ba yung dapat nating i-target. Yan. And then some methods and examples, ano ba yung mga ginagamit nating methodology ngayon? Before we go to the local, yung experience namin sa inclusive mobility saka sa School of Government, may papakita ho kaming 2-minute video na basically yung hindi lamang sa Pilipinas ngayon yung demand na kailangan may participatory yung planning process natin or yung charrette. Charrette, yung parang pag-accumulate ng insights in order to formulate plans. Ano po? Even sa European countries, sa US, sa Canada, sa Latin America, kailangan mataas na yung clamor for participatory planning. So, a short 2-minute video lang. Okay?
Property along the corridor to develop guiding principles for potential development. Kicking off the process was a week-long charrette designed to gather public input.
Shred is basically a design and planning workshop aimed at jump-starting a process. In other words, no one expects the result of a charrette to be a final product, but it's a way to get people together, get them excited, get them interested.
Corky Poster is coordinating the study, which is examining parcels located within a quarter-mile of the streetcar corridor. It's a caterpillar shape that stretches from the city's west side through the center and historic portions of downtown and out to the University of Arizona Medical Center.
So keep the historic character of those, but just make it brighter, cleaner, more landscape. Okay.
Attending the charrette were business owners, developers, investors, and neighborhood residents. Participants were tasked to answer a simple question: what do you want to see?
I'd like to see some of the non-residential, the warehouses on Toole, maybe be zoning changed so that it could be commercial and residential, like a C3 or something. I'd like to see lots of shade.
I think, it would be great to have the businesses have the option of removing car parking and putting in like bike corrals instead, as an option, because you can fit, 6 or 8 bikes in a car spot, so that's 8 customers instead of 1.
Overall, Poster says the tone of the charrette was positive.
Everyone's saying, we're on board, we think you're doing the right thing, but by the way, you better do it right. That's what we're hearing.
In the months ahead, a variety of topics will be considered during the streetcar land use study, which was initiated by the City of Tucson, the RTA, and the Pima Association of Governments, and implemented by Poster Frost Murto and the Planning Center.
Okay. Now, tignan naman po natin ano ba yung mga current methodologies na available na. Unang-unang nating tignan itong human-centered design or yung HCD process, basically popularized by IDEO. It's funded by IDEO and divided into 3 stages. Ano po? Yung una, basically yung HCD, human-centered design, 3 stages. Hear, create, deliver. Hear, ibig sabihin, pakikinig. Sabi nga ni Dr. is technology of, ano ba yun, sir? Participation. Ano po? Una-una, syempre, ina-identify natin ano ba yung mga challenges, ano ba yung mga extreme conditions, ano ba yung mga tools na pwedeng gamitin, ano ba yung mga community-driven discovery. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga local knowledge natin, and at the same time, yung mga expert interviews. So, ibig sabihin, pinaghalo-halong kalamay ng mga opinion ng iba't ibang tao at karanasan. Pangalawa is create, based on what they heard and what they gathered. Create is basically, ano ba yung design na appropriate para doon sa target issue natin, para ma-address natin yon. Pwede siyang, yung konsepto niya, basically is to generate opportunities and solution. Pwede mag-create ng frameworks, mag-extract ng key insights, and then syempre, find themes. Ano ba yung tema na pwede nating sakyan? Syempre, sinasabi nga nila, ang dami-dami mong pwedeng pasukin, halimbawa sa bikeways, di ba, sir? At sa dami-dami yan, ano ba yung tema na dapat nating hanapin, yung magandang entry point para ma-address natin yung particular na issue. And then pangatlo, kung na-identify na natin lahat yan, pangatlo is deliver. Kumbaga parang taking your solutions to make them better. Kumbaga parang is a series of testing and getting feedback from different people. Yung human-centered design po, we can provide you with a copy of online toolkit, pero pwede nyo rin bisitahin yung website nila. Available doon yung online toolkit na pwede nyo rin ma-adapt sa inyong LGU, sa inyong mga projects. Basically, yung desired outcome yung HCD, they're looking at 3 things. Unang-una, di ba sinasabi ni, sino ba nasabi kanina? Yung customer. Kumbaga parang customer-centered ka, or user. Sino ba yung user or beneficiary ng particular? Desirable ba yung pinopromote mo na solusyon? Pangalawa, feasible ba siya? Ibig sabihin, organizationally tsaka technically feasible ba siya? And then yung pangatlo, viability. Basically is yung economic side niya. Ngayon, ang sinasabi nila, pag kinombine mo yan at may overlap sila, hopefully yung solution na makikita natin, theoretically, is yung overlap. Ano ba tong gitnang to? Itong nawawala. Yung missing piece para ma-solve yung solution. Basically, that's yun yung pag kinombine na natin sila lahat in using 3 lenses and makikita natin yung overlaps. And then, of course, sa side ng Inclusive Mobility Project, we've been doing this inclusive mobility mapping since 2011. It was introduced to us by Sustainable Mobility, Accessibility Research and Transformation Center ng University of Michigan. Basically, we tried this in Quezon City, we tried this in Ortigas, and basically yung prinsipyo niya, medyo western kasi yun medyo kailangan nating medyo i-level sa konteksto ng Pilipino, di po ba? I think yung iba dito sa atin nakapag-participate na sa workshop na to, but basically ito po yung tinatanong sa kanya. Since sa pinag-uusapan natin is sa transportation, moving people, ibig sabihin yung connectivity ng mga transportation facilities natin, from the terminal to the loading and unloading points, etc. So meron kang, ito basically, this is a large map ng area, and then tinitignan ng mga tao, ano ba yung, saan ba, paano ba kumikilos o paano ba gumagalaw yung mga tao? At paano natin pagagalawin yung mga tao? Moving minds, ibig sabihin, ano yung mga ideya natin na pwede nating i-transform into advocacy? Kasi kung moving people ka, may mga opportunities and challenges ka na makikita kung bakit ganun yung klase ng paggalaw ng mga tao. Moving minds, ibig sabihin advocacy. And moving money, ibig sabihin, kung may advocacy ka, paano yung economic side niyan? Kasi paulit-ulit natin yung sinasabi kanina yung sustainability, hindi siya matatawag na sustainable kung hindi siya kumikita or hindi siya, kumbaga hindi siya self-liquidating or kumbaga parang paying for itself yung operation niya. And then syempre, importante nga yung polisiya natin to support those activities above. Gaya nga ng sinasabi natin kanina, sinabi ni Yusek, di ba sinabi niya kanina, walang katapusan pag pinag-usapan mo yung problema sa transport. Pero pag, on the process of what we did, ang sinasabi natin, huwag natin pag-usapan yung problema kasi eventually, mag-a-arise naman yan sa challenge, di po ba? Pero tignan natin kung ang perspective natin is a solution-seeking process. Ibig sabihin, solusyon yung hinahanap natin dito. And then, following these basic steps into workshops, using meta cards, using sticker dots, and then process it with the group, and then discuss. Basically, yung pinag-usapan namin to in a different occasions. Meron kaming representatives from media, meron kaming IT specialist, meron kaming worker, meron kaming negosyante, meron from the local government, etc. So, as much as possible, mas maraming sektor na magkakasama sa iisang mesa, mas maganda. And then, syempre, tinry din namin, sinubukan namin sa mga siklista. Yung nagkaroon kami ng mapping workshop. Basically, even this sector, maraming din silang kanya-kanyang advokasya, but sinasabi nga nila is, ano ba yung mga oportunidad natin mag-collaborate, given na nasa sa isang sector lang tayo. And ito naman, ito yung sinubukan namin doon sa Katanawan, Quezon, yung sa rural mobility mapping namin. Basically, ang ginawa natin sa mapping exercise, medyo tailor fit natin, doon sa kanilang business model na gustong gawin using bikes or cargo bikes, doon sa kanilang pang-araw-araw na kabuhayan. And then, kung titignan nyo dito, base doon sa ginawa naming survey, na-validate namin sila sa workshop yung origin and destination ng mga gumagamit ng mga bisikleta, and ano ba yung impact nun sa pang-araw-araw nilang gawain. For example, kung sila ay gumagastos ng 15% ng kanilang kita sa araw-araw, yung nag-introduce ng cargo bikes, ilan na lang ba? Ilan na lang yung ginagastos nila? And then, syempre, kung titignan natin yan, hindi nga yung transportation as a system and as integrated with the local economy, so makakabuo tayo ng mga idea or ng mga innovation on how to improve the ways of doing business with that community. And then this one naman, yung technology participation, we did this last year sa Envisioning the Future of Metro Manila. We were funded by the Rockefeller Foundation and supported by Forum for the Future. Basically, it's informal city dialogues. Envisioning Metro Manila by year 2040. Ano ba yung mga factors na pwede mangyari? Ano ba yung mga drivers of change? Extremes, yung pinakamaganda at pinakapangit na pwedeng mangyari. At sinasabi nga nila, yung sitwasyon ng Metro Manila, dahil kawing-kawing nga yung mga problema natin, it's a wicked problem na hindi mo malalaman ano ba yung pinagmulan niyan at ano ba yung pwedeng magdulot nung ikauunlad o ikakasasama niyan. And then we come up, ano ba yung dalawang pinakamahalaga with the list of the participants. I think sila Ma'am Tina nandoon, and then the rest of our group was there last year. Dalawang nag-arise for Metro Manila is effectiveness of urban development, urban planning and development, and then population growth. So, ibig sabihin, pwedeng maging epektibo or hindi epektibo yung urban planning and development, pwedeng mataas at hindi mataas yung population growth. Pag kinumbine yon using the matrix, then you can build scenarios, 4 scenarios. And then from that, we identify ano ba yung mga innovative solutions para makombat natin yung scenarios na yun. And then ito, yung sinasabi natin kanina, parang wicked problem na lahat, sanga-sanga, hindi mo na malaman kung anong dahilan. So basically, pwedeng, kumbaga sa proseso, pwedeng pagdaanan, pwedeng pag-usapan at makakapag-come up tayo ng solusyon. So yun naman po, hindi na po natin ito itatakil but we can provide you materials of this one. Any burning questions, thoughts, sir?
Kasi we're talking transportation, no? So ang point of view is between the driver and the passenger. Yun ang point of view. So, ang hindi ko lang kasi wala bang drivers association na involved within this? Kasi siyempre mayroon din silang point of view eh. They can air their side or they can help. Kasi may magkakaroon yan ng chain reaction eh. Let's say, may drive yung government for this project na magkaroon ng walk, bike lane. And then ang project na isa doon is magbigay ng pre-emission test for these jeepneys or this ano. So magkakaroon siya ng chain reaction. So gusto sabihin, dapat mayroon yung proper yung participation ba? Kasi pag nag-project kasi ang laro ng LGU, they are planning concerning all. So kung meron sila ditong concern, they can air their side or they can help to make it much better. Yun ang ano.
Actually, sir, tama po yun. Ano? Kaya nga po ine-emphasize natin kanina, di ba po kung sa stakeholder analysis matrix natin, or kahit wala na yung matrix yan, wag mo nang isipin yon. Sinasabi na, sino ba yung sektor na maapektuhan, sino ba yung sektor na magbe-benefit, sino ba yung may interest dito, sino ba yung kalaban natin dito na dapat mapakinggan din natin in order to craft effective decisions. So alam po natin na the inclusive mobility recognizes that, sir. Pero with the current process po siguro, magandang tanungin natin yung mga LGUs kung ano yung nagiging practice sa kanila. And syempre with the MMDA before, with the experience of Ma'am Tina, and siguro si USEC with the DOTC, ano yung naging experience nila. But from the side of inclusive mobility, yung nakaraang, we did an action planning workshop last year. And then we tried to involve even the motorcycle drivers association and all that. So yun po. But basically yung on the ground experience at the LGU, so maganda siguro mapakinggan natin yung side ng LGU. Sir, kung mapabararapatin po ninyo. So Marikina, may Pasig siguro, and then from Makati, and then from International Agency.
Magandang hapon po. I'm Danny Interia po, Assistant Head po ng Traffic. Sa amin po kasi, yung lahat po ng transport, including tricycle, quarterly nagkakaroon po sila ng seminar to conduct kung ano po yung karapatan nila, and then kung ano yung karapatan ng commuters. Especially po, lalo ho ngayon, nagpo-full implemented po kami dun sa bike lanes namin. Kaganina nga po, yung question ninyo, ano yung assurance ng isang bikers para magamit niya yung bike lane. Yun nga, first is meron po kaming bike patrolling to apprehend yung mga driver motorist na instead na bigyan ng way yung bikers, kinakain nila. Secondly, meron po kaming mobile patrolling, yung police po. And then, halos lahat po ng installation ng bike po namin, meron po kaming CCTV monitoring. So, instead na magkaroon po ng emergency ron, mas mabilis po yung response namin. And then, yung driver, in-educate po namin sila kung ano yung karapatan ng bikers at kung ano yung karapatan bilang public utility, including private drivers.
Sa Makati po yung participations po ng drivers, nagko-conduct po kami ng meetings para malaman din po kung ano po yung mga kailangan nila, kagaya po doon sa pinaparating. Mostly po mga sa drivers po ng jeepneys is yung Operation Bulag po, yung nagpapatay po sila ng mga headlights po nila. Mostly po yun yung pinaka namin sa mga drivers. Yun. Then, yung sa mga tricycle drivers naman, meron kaming mga color coding na ginagamit per toda. Then, yun, sa uniforms nila, yun lang po yung mga namin sa kanila.
I think yung question ni sir is basically, sir, pakicorrect po ako kung tama. Ang sinasabi niyo pong question is kung ang mga drivers po ba, association, ay involved sa policy decision making ng mga LGU or ng national government agency. Tama po ba? Pertaining for this project sa inclusive mobility? Yes sir po. Kung sa amin pong tinatanong ninyo, yes, we involve them. Nasagot ko ba sir ang tanong ko rin?
question pertains to participation of the drivers associations, operators, with respect to the inclusive mobility projects. No? So, kung ang pinag-uusapan natin, yung pilot projects na gagawin pa lang natin, eh, syempre, wala pa po. No? But if you're asking for participation of these drivers associations, in terms of policy formulation of the local governments, the answer is yes, insofar as Makati is concerned. So, klaruhin natin yung tanong nyo po. Ano ba yung gusto mong masagot na tanong?
Kasi may mga existing project like sa Pulau Makati, meron sila yung pre-emission test. Diba? Kasi meron Clean Air Act sa Makati na which is kinakonduct na Makati Clean City Coalition, which you shared also ma'am. So, i-incorporate na lang yun dun di ba? Sa proyekto rin. Kasi the same ang may effect siya dun sa project na gusto mangyari yung walkable o ano. So dapat yung concern nila nandun din. Yun po gusto ko sana i-address na.
Yeah, actually, yung Inclusive Mobility Network, ang disenyo ho niyan kung lahat sana ng mga government, private, NGO organizations na interesado sa inclusive mobility, meron hong 10 principles yan. So, yun ang inimbita namin. Ngayon, meron 20 organizations ngayon dito. Yung patungkol sa Clean Air Act, yung Clean Air Asia ho, kasama dito. Sila ho yung advocates ng clean air. Kasama din dyan yung Concerned Citizens Against Pollution, sina, ano pangalan niya, si Vicky tsaka si Elsie. So, kasama ho yan. Ngayon, hindi naman close yan. So, isinasama pa natin yung iba na pwedeng sumama din sa Inclusive Mobility Network niya. Pero ang idea talaga niyan ay magkaroon ng isang network na pwede na pag-usapan yung mga hindi kawing-kawing na mga interest, iba-ibang interest, para magkaroon ng common front. At actually, kung titignan mo yung mga jeepney drivers, since public utility vehicle sila, yung mga buses, pwede rin naman silang sumama dyan. Pwede rin naman yung mga freight forwarders. Basta ang usapan dito ay, pag-usapan natin yung mga problema ng traffic at transport sa Metro Manila at isulong natin yung pangkalahatang interest.